Cruising out south with a lot of my mind, so I'm always going that loud. First get to find my heart, cause I swear to God, my knee ain't gon' stand. And I've been going through a lot lately, so I pray to the Lord, he don't let me down.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah_. Alright, we're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah_. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, today I'm bringing you guys an artist spotlight with an up-and-coming rapper that goes by the name MOOK23. Now, he's been featured on notable hip-hop platforms such as Say Cheese, Cam Capone News, and Dirty Glove Bastard. Now, with songs such as La Familia, Y'all Know Better, and R.B. Graham, Mook has definitely made a name for himself on his come up and learned a lot on his rise to fame. Now, we're going to speak briefly on his come up, how we got where he is today, and music that we could look forward to in the future. So without further ado, let's get straight into what you guys came here to see.
My granny be thinking, little mama be cooking, my uncle got y'all get shoulder gon' stop it. My cousins be with it, they out here killing, can't you?
Now, MOOK23. Coming up in a small town called Warner Robins in Atlanta, Georgia, with two other siblings, making it a total of 3 children to a single parent household, Mook experienced a lot at a very, very young age. Now, although his father wasn't present, which left his mother to raise 3 kids by herself, he also had 4 other aunties present to pick up the slack and help whenever it was needed. Now, speaking on family, Mook is actually cousins to Chicago's gravedigger himself, 051 Melly from his mother's side, and also says that he's also related to Atlanta rapper Young Thug. Now, that's interesting because that would mean that Melly and Young Thug are actually related in some way, shape, or form. Now, ironically, 051 Melly's real name is Yarmel Williams, while Young Thug's real name happens to be Jeffrey Lamont Williams also. Alright, now even though his mother made sure he had everything he wanted, it's some things that she couldn't control, and it's not that she couldn't too much, but kids are going to be kids and get into the mix no matter how good their upbringing tend to be. With that being said, MOOK23 started being in the mix at a very young age and even lost his virginity at the tender age of just 9 years old. Now, he explains that a lot of his exposure to the street life came from his uncle, who was really out in the streets. And while kids his age was watching Cartoon Network and animation shows, he was busy watching BET, MTV, and movies such as Boys in the Hood and Paid in Full. Now, interesting enough, there's some people that took Mook in from the ages 11 to 18 who taught him things that would gradually help him become who he is today. Those things happened to allow him to look at life different rather than the hood way of thinking and not just living in survival mode. They taught him how to conduct himself when handling business, looking a person in the eyes when speaking, as well as knowing when to cut that ghetto hood stuff on and off and knowing that it's not always necessary. And when he would go to school, he would be with them in the burbs, and in the summertime, he'll stay with his mother. So he was back and forth to Warner Robins, and some people may think that maybe that's soft because he went to the suburbs, but in hindsight, that probably was the best thing for Mook, as that will be the very thing that probably saved his life. And here's why. Most of the friends that Mook grew up with are either dead or in jail. And as cliche as that may sound, he's no stranger to losing close people around him, because Mook says he has at least 20 friends he lost to the streets and 20 more that's been incarcerated. Not to mention, he began losing friends at the age of 5 when his day one friend he grew up with and took his first steps with had drowned. And if that wasn't something, he also lost 2 cousins in the same week and will lose his auntie, who was actually their mother, shortly after. So, In Mook's case, it's very much safe to say that his life was in fact saved by the suburbs. And the thing is, God have ways, and mysterious ways at that, of working when we may not understand why it's happening, but we should know that everything happens for a reason. Now, I'm sure he may not wanted to go at the suburbs at that time, but ultimately, as he looked back at it now, that decision may have saved his life. Now, when it came to the music, Mook describes that it wasn't something he cared about much up until he was 14 years old, and he would freestyle rap on beats along with his cousin and his auntie. They oftenly use instrumentals from guys such as Waka Flocka, Gucci Mane, and just mainly trap beats. Although he started freestyling at 14, he never made an actual song in a real studio until he was 21 years old. But music became serious for him at 15 years old after a dude in high school would let him hear his music, and his music would sound like he went to an actual studio. But to Mook's surprise, he didn't. He actually was recording himself off 2 cell phones, where one he would play the beat on and the other he would use to record himself. But the thing is, it sounded very, very good. So the guy invited Mook over to record. They recorded together, and the rest is history from there. He did that until he was out of high school. Now, when it comes to school, Mook didn't go to college because he explains that it wasn't for him, and honestly, school just isn't for everybody. But after high school, he opted to jump straight into the streets. As much as he wanted to play football, being that he started late at the age 12, he couldn't because his mother couldn't afford it. So it's not like he wanted to go to the streets like most knuckleheads, but sometimes as a kid, you become a product of your environment, and if you don't see any hope because you can't do what you really want to, whether it's due to finances or whatever the case may be, you sometimes take the alternative route and get sucked right into the streets. So it wasn't that Mook wanted to go into the streets. He actually wanted to play football, sports, or whatever. However, once he realized that sports was totally out the window because his mother couldn't afford it, that discouraged him most, and that's why he turned to the streets and never looked back. Now, Mook seemed to get in trouble everywhere he moved to, but after realizing that he lost a lot of friends due to the streets and prison, he began to calm down and use the music to let out all the pain and frustration. Not to mention, having a young boy also humbled him, and he describes that his son is one of the biggest reasons he stays on his grind. Recording his first song in a professional studio at the age of 21 called La Familia, Mook has been on the road since and plans to have a very, very successful music career. Although Drake is a very big influence on his career when it comes to music, Mook plans on making music but retire at the right time to go on to do exactly what 50 Cent has done by executive producing movies and series as well, just like Power. And speaking of Drake, Mook has a song out now by the name of Aubrey Graham, based off Drake's early come up, which gained over 13,000 views on YouTube. Now, we'll provide a link to it pinned in the comment section below. As of now, that'll be it. I placed links in the comment section for y'all to check out some of Mook's music. Let us know what y'all think about it in the comments. Y'all can check out his Instagram at MOOKE23. And as for now, that'll be it, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.